too, so it's a few of us. I mean, right. Anyhow, you know what I mean? We're a little expansive too, so sometimes we get into some worldly topics, some other city topics, but we definitely want to always touch on what's going on here at the crib. There's various ways you can interact with the show: the Facebook, the YouTube, or the Zoom. It's really up to the option that you feel most comfortable with when you want to interact with us. If you're on that Zoom, you write in the show, just come off the mute, speak your speech, just keep it respectful. Otherwise we have to mute you, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, we got to boot you too, you know what I mean? Other than that, if you're on that YouTube or the Facebook, if you type your comment, we can see it, we can put it right up front, and we can have that dialogue back and forth like that. Otherwise, share the show, y'all. Even if you just jumped on right now, go on and share it out to somebody.
Lots of conversations that you need to be involved in, and they need to be involved in as well. But before we get it already going, I'll toss it over to Steve. So what you got going on, Steve?
Oh man, we got a lot going on this week. Just like last week. Last week we were still trying to round up finish up the Juneteenth celebration, which actually they went all the way until Wednesday, right?
Yesterday. I was at one yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was still going.
Hey, we still late, ain't we? Nah, we getting the message. 167 years late, we still liquid party. But nevertheless, we have definitely kind of concluded it this week. But what's the actual dates again?
The dates of what?
But for the Juneteenth celebration, I know it's kind of like.
So it just depends, So this fell on a Wednesday in the middle of the weekends. So a lot of folks did this the weekend prior, so June 15th, a lot of folks was doing things. And then you had folks doing things on the day of, which was the Wednesday.
Right.
And then you had some folks doing it this past weekend, which was this Saturday, the 22nd. And again, that happened because of the way it fell. I can anticipate next year will probably be the same. Only because it's a Thursday, but some people look at Thursdays as party days anyway. So I could very well see that Thursday, Friday, Saturday being a 3-day event type of situation for most folks. So
yeah. Well, I actually had to do a Juneteenth presentation at Mosaic Church on North Avenue, on Oak Park Avenue, and I think I got it down. I Googled most of the information. Only thing I didn't say properly was that it actually was 2 years. I said it was over a year that we found out. It took over a year that we found out.
Right. It was over 2 years.
It was over 2 years.
2.5.
Wow.
2.5 years.
They didn't have Google. They didn't have internet back then, so we couldn't get the email. Or we couldn't get the text. We definitely didn't have a telephone. They had telegraph though. Telegraphs were back then. Right. So they got the message. They just didn't want to relay it. They figured we can get a couple more hours. It's like they do now in the company.
Yeah, that's all they do.
They do in the company. Don't let the salary people know that it's time to go. Just let them hang around a little bit longer. We can get 2 more hours out of them. We ain't got to pay them. The salary people,
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
But that was that for me. Also, Congressman Davis had an event this Saturday that was kind of culminated in somewhat of Juneteenth. Let me just go over and read it real quick because I have it right on my phone. Well, Arnold, where you at, Arnold? You can tell us more about it. Come on in. What are you holding on for?
On lunch break.
You're on lunch break. Well, okay, it says here, is the event that Congressman dedicated. David says, Happy Juneteenth. And he was doing that by, I don't have the message. Well, anyway, it was Saturday. He had an event outside his office for dads and fathers and men in general. It started at 9 o'clock. I thought it said 10 o'clock. He had tickets that he actually gave out. I don't know why they sent tickets out, but everybody was invited. And, it was a pretty good celebration. They had Dr. Hapi was there. He did a presentation. Jitu Brown was there. He did a presentation. I saw Alderman, Walter Burnett.
Oh, Burnett.
He was there. And quite a few people. I ran into the Peacemakers were there, Tiny and Bill and Shirley. They were all there. Who else did I see there? Maria from Drug Free West Side, Campaign for Drug Free West Side, she was out there. I saw one of my guys, his son, one of the guys I went to high school, well, I went to my high school, he was a little bit after me. He passed away. I saw his son working for PACC something. I forgot the name of the organization, but they do quite a bit in the community. From my understanding, they do things. They do CETA. They do things like with health care. They do a myriad of things. But nevertheless, that was a pretty eventful event at the Congressman's office on Fifth Avenue in Madison. And I had to go, because shortly after that, I had to be back in Northwest Austin Council for a community person's niece that had a repass. She died, I think, from ovarian cancer at the age of 37. Very young age, very, very young age. Passed from such a disease. But the family came together yesterday and had a repass and also, mourning her death. What else do we have this week? Let me think. I don't know. I can't recall any other events other than the Juneteenth probably was the biggest. Nothing else going on with you that you can think of? Great.
Nothing else except graduate Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah.
Yay.
Lord.
Oh yeah, walk across the
Jumbo,
stage.
Lord.
Congratulations.
Saturday is the community party, if you will. I'm the guest of honor, but it's community focused.
Right.
Today, earlier, we were launching our second edition of what we call the Island Youth Ambassadors. For those young people that live on the island, which is over here in Austin, we created a series of civic engagement activities, participative actions for them, as well as workshops that are either professional and personal development oriented and also has a civic component in which we bring different civic leaders to have conversation with them so they can learn a little bit more about certain types of processes. Last year, we brought Angelica out to talk about the district council, Rep. LaShawn Ford to talk about that, Officer Munoz to talk about policing, and I always just drop the last person. And last year we focused workshops around financial education, networking, public speaking, and resume creation. And this year we're gonna focus the workshops on my dissertation, getting them psychological capital, but tailor it for academic study. And then we have Judge Owen confirmed, Alderman Tyler confirmed, Deidre Ballman confirmed, and Crystal Gardner confirmed to be our civic leaders that's gonna come out and speak to them. So today we were launching that program. Last year we had 6 youth involved. This year we have 13. So yeah, we kicked it off, and then we did some block flyer, and we flyered the whole island neighborhood with the youth. So look forward to that over the summer. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Oh, and then when we did that, I don't know anybody in earshot if y'all can make it. This person's doing her first fundraiser tonight for her organization at the Columbus Park Refectory. It goes from 6 to 10. So as soon as this wraps, I'm gonna shoot right on over there and go support that.
Yeah, so we got a little time in a couple hours. What do you say there, Arnold? Arnold Beardy, hello. He said hello. Hang on the telephone. Glad they use a regular phone. Hello. Hitting the receiver and trying to get past these. But yeah, the weather's been so great, man. It's been super great weather. You know, you can't ask for any better weather. It's been hot, but it's been good. You know, I honestly think it's been a pretty good summer. It was a pretty good winter too. We didn't have like a bad one day. I think we had one day of snow or something like that. Or two. But all is said and done, we are rolling. What you got there, Arnold?
Not really.
Nothing.
No.
But you got something going on your block. What's happening on your block? You said something the other day. You told me about a block.
Oh, we had a block meeting. That's
Okay. Yeah, I'm just reaching out, y'all. I'm a little backpedaling. I'm trying to reach out to people, make sure they know. But go ahead, Arnold, keep going while I'm trying to get this out, 'cause I'm behind.
Let me see.
We talked about your celebration and everything, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But otherwise, I'm on vacation this week, so I ain't doing nothing. Don't call me. I ain't doing it.
That's you yesterday, thing.
You see Venus? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Venus?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah. How was this DuSable trip when y'all went? I obviously I couldn't make it this year, but how was that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the event is outstanding. The event is something well needed. The event is something that everybody should take part of going. But the reason why I couldn't fully enjoy it, because I was with Rosemary and Rosetta, and they can't walk. They're not able to walk, and see, to be there, you had to be able to walk and then to see all the enjoyment. So I really missed it. But next year, I probably go on my own. Won't even get on the bus. Just go on my own to get there, so I could stay there all day long.
Okay.
So fill me in, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Angelica, this is the second year that she's done, because Angelica has an organization, Proactive Youth, and she basically has taken up for Mr. Roy Williams. So the whole same youth that he used to mentor and get out and do activities with, she's taking that up, and so she brings them to different activities and places and tries to get them out and cultured and things like that. And so this is the second annual trip to DuSable for Juneteenth. So she rented a limo, van or limo tour bus. Yeah, the limo tour bus, and then it was big. It was much bigger than last year. It was only like 20 of us. This year it looked like it was about 50 of them.
Okay.
Man, so it looked like it got crazy this year. But she goes to DuSable, and then she takes them for African food.
Okay, so where you go for that?
Where did y'all go for the food this time around? Do you remember?
We went to this African restaurant on 35th and King Drive. Mm-hmm. I can't say the name of it right now. I could look it up and I'll put it in a chat. But
I'll look it up.
And it's on 35th and King Drive, and I guess the person who owned it was outstanding with it, because we filled the whole entire place up. They had to go and get more tables and more chairs, to accommodate us. So we had Austin, North Lawndale, Isaac, he was there with us, so it might be in the paper. And And some people from Austin Coming Together was there, but they was there just to come to enjoy. But they joined in with us, so it really was a great experience.
Yeah, it sounds like a great thing. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I always say, if you change the kids' location, not location, but what do you call that? Not their location, but their surroundings, and show them a new surroundings, you change the kids. You know, and the more they know going in the future, they have a background. They start to build a background, positive background.
Yes. So, do the Peacemakers supposed to be on tonight to explain about our positive peace seminar that we're having Tuesday?
Yeah, I know he said he wanted to come on to talk about it. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, because I'm also sharing with the folks of the Rotary. So we have enough signatures or applications turned in to go ahead and launch the Rotary Club. I was hoping we would get it done by July 1st, and be an official club, but it'll probably be somewhere around the 15th or so. But that's an exciting thing. A handful of the Peacemakers are involved in that, so that's pretty cool. Then we got a bunch.
Don't forget about me, D.
Oh yeah, let me send that to you. I can send you this application at least.
Yes, indeed.
So here is the deal. I was trying my best to not focus so much on people that I know are super busy. Rotary is not intensive, but it does need time, and many of the people that are involved in it are people that would like to give back to the community and they don't know how. And so I was able to lock into this system that's already developed to give them that opportunity, but also have that international component attached to it for folks that might be interested in that piece as well. And so that's kind of a little bit why I've been either hesitant or kind of forgetful as it relates to sending it. Because some of y'all just do a lot, man. I ain't trying to give y'all some more to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll send it to you though, but I just, like, for example, when we launch, we're gonna be meeting for 12 Mondays straight. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. Just one thing is to support, and another thing is to be really supportive and be a part. And I think communication is going to be huge in this piece, you know, especially for people who got a lot on their plate, you know, try and communicate through it. And hopefully it's supportive, you know, it's a support.
Okay. Well, we do have a secretary, and we're going to create a process of communication. I'm fairly good with both sending email and text, and I would like a third medium for folks that they might feel more comfortable with, probably a call, but that's something that me and the secretary will work with. And I know he's up to par with it. But like I said, we are partnering with Concordia College as well. And so we're going to lean on some of those, their college level folks to help us enhance it in some way too. And they'll be there at our next meeting, July 1st, to actually talk about how Concordia can help us with different facets of the club too.
Oh, well, that's good. Is that Dr. Orr?
Yes, ma'am, it is. Yes, ma'am, it is I.
How you doing, Dr. Orr?
I am great. How are you, beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful, amazing.
Looking great, honey. You look better than me. My hair will look like a broom.
Yeah.
It was like, what you doing?
Keeping it moving.
I know what I meant to tell you. I saw yesterday. I saw Mr. Russell, James Russell. He asked about you, Dr. Orr.
Who you saw yesterday?
James Russell. Your Uncle Russell.
I can't hear you, Steve. You sound muffled.
I said James Russell, your Uncle Russell.
Yes. Yeah, what you got a hold of him?
Yeah, he was at the Danny Davis, Congressman Davis event yesterday. He was all the way down there.
That's him. That's him. He gonna be everywhere. Him and my other uncle Miller.
Right. Yeah, Miller.
They don't quit.
Yeah. I saw Miller. I saw him watch something this week. I can't remember what it was.
Steve, you sound so far.
I do. How about now? Is that better?
We'll work with. I'm gonna work with it.
But okay, go ahead. DeAndre said something. Yep. Is this
DeAndre
better?
sounds closer. He sounds better.
Really?
Yeah.
Arnold? How about
That's the 1, 2.
Arnold sounds just the same?
Yeah, your Arnold sound far to me. Maybe it's just me though.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. How about anybody else? Do we sound further away than usual?
Well, I hear you perfect.
Oh, so it might be.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I know why this.
Oh, I know what I want. Oh, news break. I got a report from the police yesterday, and people on the block had told me also, so at 1425 North Austin, let me read the report. It says, quick notification, a person was shot at 1425 North Austin. White male, 48 years old, one gunshot wound to the right lower leg, no further information. So what the heck going on there? I know those people in that house. I'm trying to figure out. I made some calls on the block, but one person didn't reply back that lives right next door to the situation. So I'm trying to figure out where does this white male come from that got shot on Boulevard. Again, the Teflon Cap line is never going across on the Oak Park side. It happened on the Chicago side. Why? And there's a white guy, but it wasn't on the Oak Park side. Somebody explain to me why. What is going on? Bullets just bounced. Maybe he bounced back from the Oak Park side, and the bullet bounced back, trying to shoot him over there, and he ran across the street and got shot on Chicago. Because I don't get it. None of this ever happens. I'm not saying I don't wish any misfortune on anyone. I'm just saying, how come this is always on the Chicago side? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Bullets don't know, oh, that's Oak Park, we better behave. Guns don't know, wait a minute, we can't point that way because, Oak Park's it used to be a gun and nuclear-free zone. They used to have signs all over Oak Park that said gun and nuclear-free. No guns are allowed or nuclear weapons. Which, trying to figure out how you prevent a nuclear weapon from being in Oak Park. I mean, I don't see a lot of people walking down the street with an ICBM strapped to their back or Scud missile or something. I don't know. But nevertheless, just a tidbit. Never did get the whole deal on the guy that got shot down the street from NAC in 5800 on the fish. Other than, I think that's a homicide. Yeah, he died. That guy died. I gotta talk to someone to find out more about that. But
That was a shooting on South End Austin.
yeah. Well, it was down. A guy got beat to death. Wasn't no shooting though. There was no guns involved there. Yeah, it was something, a lady in the 5300 block of Van Buren or Congress Park. Yeah. And then some other guys they say came out and beat the guy to death. Which
Lady Close is still in the hospital.
right. Which again, where's the shot spotter? Shot spotter ain't gonna find that, is he? Ain't gonna find anything. Ain't gonna find a beat down. Again, I think the money for the shot spotter could be used for something else. Hey, how about they take that $9-10 million a year and give it to the community organizations so we can get out there and do some things.
Thank you.
But Some people
Thank
believe
you.
just keep. Although it ain't saving lives, they say it's a good watch dog. But I'm like this. My neighbor that lives behind me, he has a big old German Shepherd, woolly German Shepherd dog, and his girlfriend rides a bike. So for some odd reason, she parked her bike on their property in the gangway, not the gangway, but the stairs going down to the basement. And somebody stole her bicycle. Man, guess who that could be? The neighborhood thief that usually breaks into the garages, that lives on the corner, that's in cahoots with the guy that came from 2031 on Austin, that's hanging out by my house now. I told the guy, I said, man, your dog did? He said, dog didn't even bark, Steve. I said, well, that dog shouldn't eat for a couple of days. Because he just been barking. That's supposed to be a dog, just like a shot spotter. Shot spotter's supposed to be dumb, but if it ain't forbidden nothing happen, maybe we need to look at something else, I'm just saying, I'm just saying. 10 million. A lot of people ain't in line with what the mayor is doing, but this is something that he said, which I'm trying to figure out what he wants to do with the money. Let's talk about that. What is he trying to do with the money? Because if he ain't trying to kick some of that back or all of it back to community so we can replace the shot spotter and do something on the front end, then hey.
Also, one of them neighborhoods listed, receiving some money anyway.
From who?
From the city.
Oh, the city? Oh, you mean the 10 communities that they sort of be high risk or whatever they want to call it?
Yeah, he announced that.
How about the ex-policeman, retired policeman gets shot right there by the Market Basket on Madison and what is that? Kerrville? Kildare. I always get those streets.
Say, Steve, DeAndre.
What up, gang?
We have 2 pictures out on the individual.
Yeah.
Right. What you say there, Barry?
Yeah, I've got to go right now, but I'll try to say something. I'll be right back.
All right. Take 10. Yes, indeed. What you say there? But what you about to say,
Well, there's 2 individuals whose pictures were posted on the internet or on the news that they're looking for that officer killing. They're retired.
Sad. I said sad.
Yeah, we're on right now.
Sad, man.
Cameras everywhere.
Oh, man.
Okay. Okay. I got you. All right. So what y'all got to say? There ain't nobody got nothing hot news on for what's going on out here. I mean, I'm tired of this shootings and all this craziness.
If you want me to say something, I'll say something about what we're doing, what we got coming up.
What's going on West Side Rising?
Yeah, y'all know we always moving and grooving. We always out here in the community doing our community voices surveys and literature distribution, civic engagement activities, as well as workshops, social emotional learning workshops, all of that stuff for young people, as well as residents in our community. And so, as you all know, our meeting is Tuesday, but we're extending our meeting this Tuesday. We're going to be live in person at the Dome. We're going to have a round table conversation with the young people about what makes them feel safe. What do they think they need to develop as responsible, contributing adults? And then we're going to follow it up with some spoken word, music, and games and poetry night. And we always ask to partner with groups to support us in our efforts. So we welcome that. But we welcome you all to partner. As you all know, that starts from 4. The meeting is usually from 4 to 6, but we're going to do from 4 to 7 with 4 to 7. The meeting will be from 4 to 5. So when people late this time, they gonna miss it. Maybe 4 to 5:30 tops. If they late this time, they gonna miss it. And then we're going right into poetry and a little bit of karaoke, that type of stuff, with some food and some fellowship and that type of stuff.
You definitely
Huh?
you definitely need to link up with Kelly Stewart with the Front Porch Art Center. And she
Yeah,
loves
that's
work.
what I'm saying, man.
She do the old spoken word. She do the storytelling night, West Side storytelling night. She wants something with kids. Yeah. I'm gonna have to tie you in. I'll tell her
Yes,
about you.
please. So we instead of duplicating work and overworking, because now everybody that went to this 6-7 day work week, that done got on my nerves.
Wow.
We trying to test some of those extra things into when we do our normal meetings.
Well, there's one
Because-
thing you said I want to elaborate on or question. You said you want to find out what the youth think. Say that part again.
what makes them feel safe, what they feel they need to become productive adults. What else we was asking them? Yeah, a couple of questions they came up with.
Let me
They
say
came
this.
up.
I'm just saying this from 1,000 feet up. I honestly don't think young people think they're going to be adults. I honestly think that.
That's a great question.
No, and the reason I say that because we're pushing things so far out so that it seems so hard for them to obtain that I don't think they see themselves as being a full-fledged adult on their own, owning their own place or taking care of themselves, on their own. I don't think they see that because it's hard for me to see it for them. But that's a question that you might want to ask. What do you see? How do you see yourself as an adult, and when do you see yourself being an adult? And what do you think you will be doing as an adult to live in an adult world?
I like that question. Can you text me that question? Because we can ask them that and try and video some of the stuff. Maybe I don't expect a lot of people to come, but who knows? Sometimes when you don't expect a lot of people to come, you get a lot of people. When you expect little people, when you don't expect no people, you got people. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna see.
Right.
And it's been hot.
And the only reason I say that because you seldom hear, the dream of a youth anymore. Do you hear it, DeAndre, when you're out there with the young people? What their dream is?
No, but I don't ask either though.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's just
we've gotten away from what do you want to be when you grow up? You know what I mean?
Right. That's true.
It used to be, I want to be a fireman, a policeman, a doctor, everything they see on TV. But what do they see on TV now?
Right.
I mean, nobody watches TV, right? A rapper.
No.
They don't even say that, right?
TV,
right.
Same-sex couples now. Marriages. That's what you see on TV.
That's regular TV,
man. I'm just saying.
Somebody, my neighbor, she's a teacher, and she told me that, she said, Steve, she's going to have her kid attend her school for kindergarten. She has a young baby, 2 young babies. She said that, I'm just afraid. Now, she asked me this. She said, Steve, are the black kids going to beat my kids up? I'm like, that ain't how that works. I said, now, if they get jazzy at the mouth, they might get a couple little rap downs in the mouth, but typically, black kids don't go picking on little white kids. They just don't do that. I knew this dude, they grew up around Laramie and Chicago Avenue, in between that area. I don't know what you call it, but between Cicero, Laramie, Chicago Avenue, and Lake Street. It's like a village of people up in there. They went to Nash and they all know each other. And it's hard to go up in there with a car. I knew a guy, he grew up over there with this white guy. And they were young. And he said, man, look, this is how it went down. We just, for the sake of argument, we're going to call the white guy Billy. Billy, the black guy told me, he said, man, when we got down, if somebody ever messed with Billy, because he was our friend, we messed with them. And Billy understood if somebody messed with any of us, he got to get down with us to support us. And it was like an unwritten rule that just because Billy was white, ain't nobody bothering him, ain't nobody gonna mess with him. He live in our neighborhood, he's part of us. And I was like, man, that's how he said, man, that's how it was. And everybody understood it. That was around us. And
Right.
You know, but you know, my neighbor said that, and she said, I said, no, it ain't gonna happen like that, you know. I said, most honestly, young black kids are more curious because they typically don't see young white kids, and they're gonna be like, hey, hi, you know, what's going on? And they're gonna want to share what they're about more than, you know,
Right.
antagonistic. I don't see that. I just don't think that's the case. Because young kids, even, you know, amongst other young kids, that's just how they are. They don't see that like that. I went to school with a kid when I was in second or third grade. We always thought the kid was black. I mean, he looked like a white kid, but we used to look at it, but we divorced the whole idea because he said he was black. He said he was black. We did. Okay, you black. Oh. We look around, got one black kid with red hair, got another black kid over here look like Opie Taylor, got another, you know, black is black. If you say you black, that's what you is. That's how we started when we were younger. And then when I look at the pictures now, I'm like, that kid was black. And it was
Wow.
Now I'm gonna show y'all the pictures. And I think his dad, he said his dad was one of the administrators at the school. I went to Sumner, by the way, it was Sumner Grammar School, right off of Tripp in Fifth Avenue there. And when I reflect back on it, I'm like, man, he told us he was black, and we went with that. I mean, he sounded like us, however we sounded. You know,
I could hear it.
He looked like he could have been somebody's black kid. I don't know, but I'm gonna show you guys a picture of him. Y'all tell me.
Also coming up.
What we got coming up, Arnold?
Hey,
Violence.
hello?
Oh yeah, that's right. School board. Go ahead, Arnold, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead, Barry, you got something?
Yeah, just wanted to say I've got to go, but wanted to wish DeAndre a happy birthday and say say sorry I can't stay on longer. Talk to you next time.
Hey, I did get in on your podcast, Barry. You see me?
What?
I did tune in on Zoom.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good. And how was it for you?
All right. You know, like all of them. Good information, good communication. So
All right, we'll talk some more. So,
all right, Barry.
don't want to interrupt your show. Okay, bye.
I was about to say, I think Mr. Brown, who was at the event yesterday,
G2.
G2.
Yeah, he's running for school board.
Yeah, for the 5th district. And my question was to him, as well as anyone else that may know the district boundaries, because, of course, there may be some confusion as to where the district lines lie or configured, and who's running in what district. Is anyone, I heard some names.
Well, I haven't heard of anybody, you know. And the boundaries are pretty much the same as the congressional district, almost, you know, in the city. That's what I understood.
Yeah, we tried to get Dwayne on here.
See,
Dwayne Trust, because he knows a lot about it, try to get. Oh, she knows a lot about it as well?
Yeah,
she was that rolled out. So I'm gonna try to work on that, but I knew on the west side, that was always District 6 under the old configuration or alignment. And they told me that's the 5th district now.
They can't see this picture. Let me see if they can see this picture, man. You see that kid right there? Wait a minute, let me get him in the right light.
Go to your right.
Yeah, bring it up.
You see him? Next to the chubby kid?
Go down.
You see him right there, y'all?
Yeah, go to the right. Keep going.
Too much, something happened. Oh, the screen was going out. But I got a guy, I'll put it on there. That kid told us he was black, and we was like, okay, that's what you is, that's what you are. I don't know if everybody can see it, but that's him. I forgot his name too. But he told us, hey, he's like, yeah, you just a light-skinned black kid. That's it. Really light-skinned. But yeah, the districts for my understanding is the district for the 5th district is the same, almost similar to the congressional 7 congressional districts.
I just don't have
for the city.
Clue. There's much information.
Now that you brought that up, let me say this about that. The other part about this new elected school board election, a lot of people just don't know about this because when it was on the referendum, which was 10 years ago now? It was back in 2015. It was a referendum that passed, from that election. The other part is the people that had kids 10 years ago, they ain't got no kids, so they don't care about none of that. And the people that, I hate to say this again, that they reaching out to the vote for this are the older people. They definitely ain't had no kids in a long time, so their interest really ain't there. The other part is, what you gonna do as elected school board? How many are you gonna be per district? How many is gonna be total in the city? How many is the mayor gonna pick for his own personal pick?
Well, it's 10 elected in this election cycle. In my understanding, maybe another 10 in 2 years. Will mention to me yesterday. But that's about all I heard or understand what was spoken to me.
Right.
But as you can imagine it, we just don't know.
Well, you're out here soliciting petitions to get on a ballot.
We don't need 1,000 signatures.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But what if I heard Crystal had put out a thing on Facebook. Crystal Gardner said that she's out there petitioning, and she's over in K-Town petitioning. And I'm like, okay, you're in K-Town. K-Town ain't K-Town like it used to be. If you could find 5 black families out of 5 blocks in K-Town between Kilbourne and Pulaski, let me know. The other thing is, if you can find 5 black families on 5 blocks in K-Town from Kilbourne to Pulaski that got kids that possibly are in the system or going to be in the system or just recently came out of the system, let me know. Because the people that are over there are a lot of Spanish speaking people in all those K streets now that which we used to call Madison Street area, you know? Back in the day, when we say Madison Street, people already understood that meant Madison Palace, because that was the shopping area. And
Ryan Fest was there yesterday.
where?
At the time.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Before you got.
But he's running.
Yeah, outside.
Right. But again, how do you get people to pique their interest in this? Because they
Money.
What do you mean? So you gotta pay people to
Very.
get out and vote?
Well,
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying it's gonna take some money
Oh,
to get information
Get
out,
information.
communication.
yeah, I agree. But we gotta, I mean, I'll put these questions out there again. How many people are supposed to be per district? Where are these districts? How many other people are the mayor gonna pick for his own personal pick? And what y'all gonna do?
He's doing, so I think only half will be running for elected office. The other half he'll pick up in this term, and then the next go round, the other half that he didn't pick up. I mean, the half he didn't pick up, then will have to run to make it a fully elected board. This first time around, he gets to pick half up. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's 20. Yeah, right. So it's 21 of them.
So
So he's picking 10.
$365,000 question. What are you gonna do? What they gonna do? What are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do that the other people ain't never done? Are they gonna do anything different from what the other people have ever done?
Well,
Are they gonna be effective? Are they gonna be agents of change?
well, my suggestion would be if someone, we can reach out to Miss Leonard or Wayne.
Yeah, we got to bring somebody. I've been wanting to know
Now,
myself.
they found tomorrow.
Oh wow, tomorrow.
They start. That ain't the last day.
No, so I found tomorrow, Mr. Brown, how you pronounce
G2.
it? G2, told me he's gonna file tomorrow.
Right, but that's not the last day, right?
No,
No. The other question is, because at one point they said these are all not even they don't get paid. What do you call that? You don't get paid.
So these are just volunteers.
Volunteer. Well, you can't call them. They're elected, so you can't say volunteer. But non-paid elected positions. Then at one point somebody said, "Oh no, the General Assembly and the governor said they were looking into and they wanted to make sure that these people got paid a substantial amount of money to be in these positions." And then I found out just like a couple weeks ago, because I had heard this a couple months ago, that what I just said. Then a couple weeks ago, somebody said, "No, that ain't true. They ain't get paid." So I mean,
There's a lot going around about it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we gotta get some folks in the know.
yeah, making decisions on $1 billion budget, taxes that's levied as far as payment of property tax, so a lot of decision making for some individuals.
unless
We don't have any idea
let's
what the
let's
responsibility.
go to the untold truth that they told us 45 years ago. Oh, we're gonna start a state lottery. In the state lottery, we're gonna give money to the underprivileged in the urban, the inner city schools and all the school systems throughout the state to support the kids in their schools. And that ain't never happened. 45 years of a lie. And that's the lie ain't nobody never said nothing about. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Being a 14-year-old leaving grade school, grammar school, elementary school, all the above. And I said, man, they're gonna start a lottery, now they're gonna give money to help our inner city schools. And I'm leaving now. But hopefully the kids that come behind me, they'll get better books, better supplies, better teachers, better infrastructure inside the schools. We didn't, wasn't no such thing as a computer then, but we did have like some aids, certain aids that we had for the students, but we didn't have many. We had to share like 20, 28, 30. And look, back then we had like 36 students per room. 34 you got reading room. You got 2 less kids. But again, what has the lottery done to support and help the schools? Not a doggone thing. Nothing has come out of it. They haven't done it. They ain't gonna never do it because they lied from the beginning when they said they were gonna do it 45 years ago.
What about the parents whose children attend public, charter, Catholic, private, and other institutions for education? Will they have a vote or say in the upcoming elections? I don't know what.
Well, they could vote, but if the kids ain't in the public school system, what's the point?
Well,
But you can still vote. I mean, if your kid go to Catholic school, you can still vote for the school board member for the public school. I mean, I'm sure they
questions now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do that in the suburbs.
I hear you. I just don't know. That just came to mind. You know?
Right.
And again, if they're sending their kids other than the Chicago school system, but having a decision which brings more taxation, you see.
Right.
I just wonder there's a lot of stuff being made, even with the now selective enrollment in schools and how they're, really pushing back on those, and then earlier before that happened, the state moved to stop the funds for those families that were seeking to send their kids to charter schools. So there's been a lot of different changes. So in addition to this now, like how does all of it fit together,
Right.
We really got to find somebody that can really.
Let's just talk about this one. Wasn't it the school board president or something? Wasn't she, this one day I said, why your kids ain't in public schools? She said, because I don't want them in public
Oh,
schools.
it's my
The union.
the union, yeah,
CTU.
CTU,
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Stacey Gates.
She said, because I want to put them in different schools. I guess that was the end of that. So as far as you saying, people that don't have their kids in the public school system, shoot, you already talking about the union person that,
Hey, you talk about people that don't have no skin in the game.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I mean, anybody, y'all got any comments out there about that?
What we allowing to happen now?
Well, I don't have a comment. Yeah, I don't have a comment about that, but I'd like to make a statement and ask a question if I can.
For sure.
Okay, so I'd like to tell everybody about our positive peace workshop. That's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday, which is June 25th and June 26th at Hope Church, 5900 West Iowa. It's free, and you get a certification for going to it. We're going to discuss the 8 pillars of peace, and we got about 5 seats left. And I also would ask the question, what do you guys think about the mayor talking about reparations?
I think that's a good talking point for him. I mean, first of all, I done heard this come from so many different directions. So if you want to talk about reparations to me, I don't care about the alderman talking about it. I don't care about the mayor talking about it. I don't care about the governor talking about it. I care about the president talking about it because it was the United States federal government that sanctioned slavery.
Yeah.
The federal government, they benefited from slavery via taxes and the free labor also. I mean, last time I checked, slaves built the White House. And I don't think they got a pension for that. I don't think when they finished and they retired, I don't think they actually got a pension for that. But again, talking to these local governments about it, like they said, Evanston has came up with a reparation plan for all the people that have lived and one descendant away from slavery. We're going to give them a free library card to pull all the Black history books off the shelf. Really? You ain't seen that. And then they had to be 105 years old, and then they waited 5 more years till that person died, so they didn't have to give nothing. Because I don't know anybody that benefited from the reparations and that, or heard anybody talk about it. Like, whoa, did you hear such and such? He went and bought him a brand new Cadillac with his reparation money.
I think P-Ray. P-Ray was saying one of the things that I thought made a lot of sense, right? She was saying it's going to be very difficult to track slavery. You know, most of us don't have any idea about familial history and can trace it back to us being slaves. And so that will make it difficult for everybody that was deserving of it. But what she did say is that period after slavery, though, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights, that period in history is still alive and well today. And we can all trace back to those times. And we can look at the terroristic situations that happen against Black people as calls for reparations. So them tearing down all of our economic sanctuaries, if you will, from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Rosewood to Central Park in New York. I mean, all of these tragedies that have happened.
Georgia, what's the town that's underwater?
I mean, man, you know, so
well,
I want to add to that, DeAndre, though, because when you think about it, they could trace back as far as they want to trace back. We, as a people, may have become, especially the newer generations, detached from slavery. So that's what make it hard for us to trace back. But people know where they got their wealth from. Right. People know how they built their countries. People know the source of their income because they keep those legacy stories going on and on and on. They may reword the part where they made their riches through slave labor or enslaved people. They may reframe it, they may respin it, but they know where they got their wealth from. So it's not hard if they want to trace it back, if they want to do right and do real reparations, that's not complicated. Just like education reform is not complicated. Just like prison reform is not complicated.
Right.
What's complicated is, I saw this on a reel. What's interesting is we are continuously looking to and relying on the people who caused enslavement, who caused chaos, who caused trauma, to remedy and judge the solutions and the cure for all of these things. And that's kind of absurd. Like Steve said, I do remember when they said that the money from the lottery would go to schools. I've not heard one story from that point to today where they've kept their promise. But that's not the worst part about it. The worst part about it is that the people who is supposed to be and supposed to have the power has been lulled to submission and sleep, and we don't say anything. And the few of us that do, we may be targeted, we may experience challenges and complications, or we may be labeled as completely out of mind and troublemakers, rabble rousers. Why are you keeping up trouble? Whatever you want to call that. So that's, for me, in this country, I agree that this was a federal thing. This country profited, built, and is still established very much so on the foundation of enslaved people, their labors, their creativity, and still do benefit and profit from it. Because if we told any one person, one company in this country and overseas in most major countries to relinquish all of the wealth that they've accumulated due to slavery, most countries will be broke.
Yeah.
So
I know.
how do we wake ourselves up and begin to learn to trust each other, trust our creativities, speak up and not just be necessarily, I don't want to create problems, I don't want to be the problem thing, and begin to capitalize with each other and on ourselves instead of everyone else capitalizing on us? That's a big question for me.
So I would like to add to this is Howard Ray. How y'all doing?
Hey, Howard.
Hey. So I would like to add to that. What she's saying is not hard to find your ancestors because we have the Freeman Bureau, we have the Census Bureau, and basically, when you trace back to your great grandmother, and then you add the Census Bureau and all these Ancestry.com to it, you will find out that your relative was a slave probably like in his teenage years, or some people, they was 5 years old, they was born into slavery, but then luckily 1865 came about. So it's not that hard, but we just have to go to the Freeman Bureau and look this stuff up. And another thing is that I understand this reparation is about a federal thing, but you know, there were states that were giving 40 acres in a mule for a quick amount of time, and then they took it back in 1877. And so what we're doing with RERAN, which is Reconstruction Era Reparation Act now, which is a local initiative, Cook County initiative, but hopefully with the research that comes after the initiative is implemented, it'll show that the benefits that communities like in Cook County can grow, can benefit, can generate generational wealth. And so, you know, we're going to do this RERAN initiative for 300 years. But, you know, again, we just need to get it on the ballot. Once we get on the ballot, we should be in motion then. But you know, it's a little bit different from Evanston, but Evanston also is in Cook County, so they can piggyback and still get the benefits of what we're doing here in Cook County, because they're in Cook County. So basically, by not paying property taxes would keep us in our homes, and it would generate funds for the neighborhoods, the communities. We estimate on the low end, we would be bringing in $720 billion per year. That's the low end, because they never, and this is where they get us at, they're never transparent on how many sale transactions that occurs in Cook County or in the state of Illinois, because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know this number. So once we put this out here, they're gonna have to start giving us the numbers. And then only thing we're asking for is the 3 cents. 3 cents per transaction. If they're not trying to give us 3 cents per transaction from what they collect off the sale transaction, then they're not trying to right the wrong anything. That's just all talk. But we're gonna put them to the test, and that's what this is very important. And reparation can come in all different forms, but the original reparation wasn't about money; it was about land. Then you could make your money off land, because they never even, you know, money at that time. If you had land, that's how you was gauge on how much you own, how much your wealth was. And so that's basically it.
You the lord of the land when you have land. And but Howard, so technically that's not reparation. That's what I mean. Break it down. Everybody clear on this? I mean, I want everybody to feel comfortable and understand what Howard's actually, you know, got going, because we need to be clear, right? Everybody clear? Anybody give me a yay?
Yeah, another question. Do you build wealth through land acquisition or given to you, or do you build wealth through money? In regards to this whole reparation question, like in Evanston, it addresses, I guess, what he was speaking on from land situation, you know, address some of the inequities and build wealth through appraisal or higher value of property if you had acquired it over time, or do they just give everybody $100,000 that you invest to where you can build on that $100,000 go from there? And I understand on a home rule, they can just come up with all that, okay, for the city, county, state. But when you say federal, as you say, the U.S. government was contributed or involved with slavery direct, no question. But with this court system now, so this conservative groups are the ones that's suing now, whether they're giving you money or they're giving you land or they're giving you anything that say, hey, that's discrimination.
Yep, that's right.
So
Yeah, they big on that DEA.
DEI and all that. So it's
Well, the thing of DEI was originally designed to try and level the playing field for those who were descendants of the enslaved people. The original law or policy or ordinance, whatever you want to call it, was designed for us. But over time, it has evolved to become something other than us.
So let me say this. The way we're doing our reparation, we're not using color at all. So what we're using descendants of enslaved people. And what that means is that if you can prove that your ancestors were enslaved from the time this country was built, became a country, the Constitution, to the 13th Amendment, then you can reap the re-ran benefit. So an Irish person could come in and say that he was enslaved before, but he would have to show that he was enslaved in America, because Irish people were enslaved, but they were mostly enslaved in the Caribbean. So we welcome anybody that's saying that they were enslaved, but they have to prove that. So we're not putting a color like what's happening in Evanston and the lady in Atlanta. They use the word Black and African American. So they're putting themselves in that position for the 14th Amendment to be used against them. But we're saying, like when I talked to Maria,
No, continue.
When I talked to Maria Pappas, I met her a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "Well, yeah, Ray, well, they're using it, they're doing this. You can't use it." I said, "No, Maria, where's your grandma? Where's your great grandma from?" And then when she said, I think sometime, I don't know if it's Greek, whatever, European town, I said, "No, you weren't qualified." But if she was a slave, maybe, because I didn't say this to her, but if there was a white woman that sex with a black man back in the 1800s, and they caught her and they made her a slave, and they put paperwork on it and said, "You are now a slave because you were what they call a nigger lover," or so what, then her ancestors, her descendants could bring that paper up and say, "See, my great grandma was a slave, so come on with it. You got the re-ran program." You know what I'm saying? But they have to prove that.
So that's my challenge though, Howard. That's my challenge. In order for us to get anything, we have to include everybody. But in order for everybody to get anything, they don't necessarily include us, but they stand on our sacrifice and our work. Why can't we say that we are Black, we're of African descent, of slave descent, and we are entitled by right, by birth, by work to reparations? And I understand about organizing, I understand about the win, but this is what happens to us, and this is why we co-opted. So what'll happen is you inclusive of everybody, but guess who gonna get it? Everybody but us.
I would say this, for this particular circumstance, I don't think everybody could prove that they were enslaved, because when I talk to most people, and I've been taking stats, most non-Black people, they always brag about, "Oh, my parents immigrated over here from such and such." They already given it up. So I don't know any white folks. That have told me that, because they're not from this land. I don't know any white folks that have told me that their people was enslaved. They always say their people was in Italy, whatever. I just haven't ran across any. So, but you gotta beat them at their own game. And of course, and I will say this though, when we come up with this and this implemented, and I already see what's going on now across the states, the Republicans. After we did our Fox interview, there's a lot of they're saying that taxes is illegal anyway. So they may come up and say that nobody should be taxed. So I can see that happening. But in the meantime, we come with this referendum now, and then we piggyback off that. And they want to say they was enslaved, they got to prove it.
Well,
I hear you. My challenge is still, why are we always inclusive of everybody to get something going, to get something passed? And then when it's passed, we are excluded from the benefits
We're not
of it.
empowered. That's why we're not empowered. We
And
don't
why is
have
that?
anybody to look out for. Why is that? I put it because we don't have a country like the Japanese got Japan, German got the Germans got Germany. So they got anything that happened to their people in this country, those countries speak up. We don't have Africa because Africa is all split up. But if we had Africa, United States of Africa, then I think we'll have leverage. But we, as Black Americans, we're the most unique people. I mean, we're the most unique people in the world.
Let's just start with that, because you just said Black Americans, Africans, this and that. I heard this. Now I'm bringing this up because I saw an interview where Smokey Robinson said he ain't African American. He said he'll, but what they took it in the wrong context, because he said the struggle that I'm fighting for is all about Black Americans, not Africans, because he don't know none of that that dealt with Africa. Then people say, well, you're getting rid of the lineage of information and history because you don't want to tie yourself to Africa. It's not that he didn't want to. He only knows what has been put, that's been put in front of him and what he's been fighting for. And he has yet to see Africans fight for it also.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
What?
And see, people thought he was saying, well, he ain't a Black person. No, that ain't what he was saying. He said he is a Black person. He's just saying African by way of America. Well, right. Now, American by way,
Well, here's the thing. What's great about this rerun is even the Africans, the Haitians, anybody other than African American, you have to be a slave in America to get this thing enslaved in America. So the Africans, they didn't really start coming over until 1960 after the naturalization, immigration, whatever it was, came about. So you can't be African and you can't be Haitian. This is strictly for Black Americans. But now, we will fight for the diaspora, all the countries. I know you mentioned earlier that a lot of countries were involved with the slave trade. Yeah, we'll fight on that on a national, universal level when that comes about. But right now, this is strictly here for people in the county, Cook County, and people were enslaved during the time of the Constitution and the 13th Amendment. They were free by the 13th Amendment. Ain't nobody in Africa they like most of the Africans that's over here now. They came over here probably like in 1968 on up to now.
I've got a question, Howard. What kind of reparations, money or land, are you speaking of? Or I would receive if this go forth, you win, and it's not challenged, constitutionally and all that. So what form of reparations could I specifically look forward to receiving? Money or land or both or what?
Well, you're talking about what? Here's the thing. It's a dual situation because money is land, but we're saying the number one thing is to pay property taxes to preserve our people, so we won't be pushed out of our land. Now, like I mentioned before, the 3 cents that we're gonna the funds that's gonna be from every transaction, it's all money. It's gonna be the money that we're gonna use to pay for the service and needs. Like, we'll have director committees that they may say, well, we need in this neighborhood a bunch of rec center on every block. The money could be pulled from there. Another one, a community may say, well, we need to have all our people homes rehab. Then money will be pulled from that. So it's monetary, but the land part is, even if the dollar amount goes down to zero, like in Venezuela, we ain't got to pay for our property taxes because it's already in law that as descendants of enslaved don't have to pay property tax. Now, the property taxes will be paid by the sale tax. So it's not like we're putting a burden on anybody else because the property taxes are being sold from the sale tax that occur in our county. So
So you ask the 3% on every dollar.
No, we asking for 3%. No, we asking 3 cents from every transaction. So if you go buy anything,
real estate transaction.
it could be, you could go buy some shoes, you can go buy some eyeglasses, you can go buy some cigarettes. We want 3 cents from every transaction, retail transaction, usage transaction. You can pay your phone bill. We want 3 cents. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. And that could be tracked, right? The purchases,
they could be what?
The purchases can be tracked, so we'll know what the money.
What could be tracked now?
Purchases. All these purchases can be tracked, so we'll know how to count our money.
All the services you said?
Purchases.
Oh yeah. Well, see, right now they don't track how many transactions.
No, well, we have some idea due to the fee of real estate transaction tax.
That's real estate. He's saying.
I know, but I was just saying everything. When it comes to real estate, we have some reasonable idea as to how much real estate transactions is occurring.
Right. Now, I'm gonna tell everybody, just be real on the front end.
They always say how much money we generate, but they never say how many transactions occurs.
Right. So, but the money that's generated is what I'm looking at. I can do some math on that. I don't care about that.
Right. Well, the money, that's the thing. We don't know, if you can find out how many transactions occurs, because people, they don't know what these people be doing. They can say that we made $4 billion in this year, but the transaction may show that there was 52 trillion transactions. So when you do the math, like, wait a minute, this don't add up. That's how I look at it.
Is that public record speaking of in that regard? Would that be a public record? Maybe.
We look now. I ain't saying we the coldest researchers there are, but you can try. But we call downstate. We don't have that information for you. Do y'all ever record that? Not to our knowledge. We don't. Not to our knowledge. They tell we don't record transactions. We just record. And I'm like, well, how y'all? I understand y'all got this money and we could try to figure out ourselves, but y'all should record that. I mean, when I worked in the store, that's what they looked at. I mean, transactions, and then the match up with the money. So how y'all not doing it? And then they look.
Well, let's say this. I'm gonna be right there with you, bro, because I can prove that I came through descendants of slaves. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and guess what? The last slave ship the final ship that caught fire in Mobile Bay in the Gulf, those slaves, the people that came off that ship, they were the last slaves in America. Not saying that I was part of that last group, but I know my mother's mother, or my grandmother, she was born in 1901. And I'm pretty much sure her mother was a slave, unless she had her at 18. Now, she had her in 1890 when she was 10 years old. That's different, but I'm almost 100% sure of that because
we only looking at about 5 generations back. That's it.
Not even for me.
Think of the concern what just happened in the state of Oklahoma with the 2 elderly black women that almost 110 years old. The gentleman died. They're praying and hoping that there's some reparation for what happened during the Tulsa.
Oh, it was a lady in Texas. She just got they gave her a house and some her property because she got ran off of it back in the 50s or something or whatever. I don't know.
But the state of Oklahoma, the conservative judges and all that stuff, they didn't have no standing.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. With Tulsa situation.
Yeah, I mean.
Because they don't want to give it up. The Oklahoma has done they've done some really bad things to people. They had some things that they did to the Indians, the Native American indigenous people. There, they had a lot of oil too. Now, a lot of the natives had oil, so they would marry the native women and then kill the women and take the oil. The white men would marry the native women.
There people over the native same question's gonna come up. So it's a challenge. I mean, it is what it is.
No, I hear what Howard saying.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be hard you're gonna be able to do that right off the bat.
but how much proof on this saying symbolically when they showed you for each other military and law enforcement bombing black folks.
Right.
Around, literally driving around looking to kill them.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier about those terroristic attacks that happen on the soil are more easily tracked than slavery. And that's what I was saying. And to P. Ray's point, most of the folks that have gotten reparations throughout history, whether it was Japan or
Japanese, American Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Japan.
They didn't get a country.
The Jews.
Yeah.
No, but we paid Japan for bombing them.
Yep, we did.
We paid them
I
for bombing them.
thought we just
Yes, we did.
Right.
And we paid their survivors that were here in our concentration camps.
Yeah, now the concentration camps from the American, Japanese Americans, I know we gave them reparations.
You know, I have an auntie that was an administrative. She was in the Army, Black History. She was supervising out there doing this Japanese internment. Yeah.
In California.
Yeah, I'm getting some of that information.
Yeah, no, I know they got reparations. Everybody. They interned all those people and took them away from their property, made them get rid of everything, and put them in camp.
Yeah, but for other atrocities around the world, whenever there was something that happened that was a like terroristic situation, there was reparations given to it.
That's right.
But that wasn't terroristic. I mean, to drop the atomic bombs.
Yeah, that was an experimental bomb.
Say what you saying.
Bomb dropped on them like that.
No, but it ended the war. You do know that, right?
Yeah, but man, come on, we were gonna beat them anyway.
No.
The reason why it was a terroristic because a lot of innocent civilians got killed. It wasn't. They didn't hit the military base.
What part of war where people don't die? Tell me that.
Yeah. No, you don't supposed to.
No,
you don't supposed to hit the military.
War since the beginning of the time. They ain't say, hold on a minute. We see an old lady crossing the street. Man, they've been fighting wars on horses. They've been fighting wars with spears. They've been fighting wars with arrows. They've been fighting wars with every type of armament there was.
Yeah, that's gonna always be.
There ain't gonna be no casualties in war.
Yeah.
You know, nah, man, that's just the way it is. I mean, if there was a war in America, they don't say, well, we're gonna take the West Side. Them Negroes, we gotta make sure.
No, but look how Japan did us. Japan, when they attacked, they only hit the military base. They didn't go to the civilian part. They hit, but
yeah, but we justify why they are entitled for reparations and we not. That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's crazy in itself. Period.
So that shows us our social conditioning right there. Why did the Jews get reparations? We ain't had nothing to do with that.
No, I was looking at it like the way I was looking at it was that America was wrong for just killing people like that. I wasn't looking at at that point when we started talking, I wouldn't even think about reparations. I'm just looking at it like America always doing some F up stuff and they just take out everybody instead of sticking to the rules of engagement. You're only supposed to hit military versus military, not hit civilian. Now the reparation part, I wasn't even thinking about it like that.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, for real though, let's be honest with where we at in the country we in. We keep trying to hold up standards to a country that only has standards when it benefits certain groups of people.
Right. Well, tell me about the Jewish reparations, because I'm not clear on that.
Let me see. I'm looking right now.
The U.S. paid reparations to Jews?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of like IBM, Harley Davis, a lot of the corporations, they were still funding the Nazis, and so they were doing business with the Nazis. So America paid and made them pay for a lot of the situation. IBM was selling them calculators, computers, and Harley was selling them the motorcycle. So it was still a lot of business that was doing business with Nazi Germany at the time.
Private entity though, that's private. That's not the government.
But the government,
The government did
allowed it
step
though.
in. Yep.
They allowed it, so that's why they had to come in.
And stepped in and gave them reparations.
And one of the biggest things the United States did for reparation for them was move the Palestinian out with England and gave them Israel, and then they recognized them as a country. So you can't get no bigger than that reparation. See, reparation, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It comes in all forms. It's just not about the dollar. It comes in all forms, you know.
DeAndre looking it up right now.
Yeah. And you know, they talk about how the Holocaust, 6 million Jews were killed, but 100 million Black people were killed on the Middle Passage. You know?
Yeah.
And the Jews made a lot of money off of slavery. They financed a lot of plantations. They financed a lot of boats. They financed the places where they sold slaves.
Oh yeah.
So
and by no
they
means
got reparations.
Yep, and by no means are we against, am I personally, anybody, I don't believe is against any population receiving reparations, receiving opportunities, economic advancements. We love all people, Jews, Asians, everybody.
I'm just trying to figure out
My question remains is, when will they speak up for us?
Look,
They're not. They're never going to speak up. That's why we got to take. They're never going to speak for us because because we just got to take. That's all.
You know what? It reminds me of like when you at work and your coworker, he got a bonus, but then you ain't get your bonus. But then you see him out there taking everybody to lunch. He's like, "Hey, bro, you ain't taking me to lunch? Wait, what? How you taking that? What? He ain't told nobody he got his bonus, got a little fat bonus, you know. I'm trying to figure out who got the bonus."
Yeah.
Right. As long as we got this system that's been around since the time this system was created, they're not going to ever speak up for us, because when they do, then that means that this system doesn't exist anymore. So that's the whole point to it. This system is running the way it is. It's just coming. It's the same game with different players. But when this system, when Black folks start advancing and stop dying, then now it must be a different system.
Well, I mean, the way things are looking, our population has not. What's the growth of our population? What is it, DeAndre? Do you know what percentage is it over the last few decades? Is it going into positive, or is it in the stagnant, or what's that? For black population growth, because I don't think it's like in the U.S.
Well, let me say this. From my observation, this is my observation. I don't see any pregnant young women walking around no more. I just don't see it. I've been back in the 80s and 90s. We seen a lot of pregnant young ladies like in their 20s, some of them was teenagers, but like in the 90s, everybody and their mom was pregnant. I don't know if because R. Kelly ain't singing no more. I don't know what it is, but I don't see any pregnant women. And I think because I know it ain't because sex has decreased. I think it's because there's options how you can not have a baby now, you know. But I see a lot of Latino pregnant women. I see a lot of white women pregnant, and they have problems getting pregnant. But I don't see Black women pregnant anymore. I don't know what's going on.
I remember a few years back, I seen a couple of Black girls walking down the street pushing some baby carts, and I had a parade in front of the building. I was like, "Yay!" They were like, "What's wrong with him?" I'm like, "Y'all got baby carriages, and you're pushing it." In which, like you said, that was a rarity to see in previous, most recent times. But how you tell them like it is though, but I don't know. You just don't see it. I mean, I'm thinking about people I know. I don't know a lot of people that, I mean, I'm up in age, but shoot, even in my age group, I had 4 kids, everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. Man, you got 4, I ain't 4. What you gonna have? I'm like, and? It was 5 of my, I had 5 people in my family with siblings, you know, and then my mom had 10. So, I mean, it's been half, I guess, going down. I don't know. We just gotta put our mind to the real deal, man. 'Cause, yeah, reparations. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. That money is out there. You know, we had that big flood last year, right? I had a conversation with one of the aldermen, and they said to me, they said, you know, they could put backflow valves on all these properties in the city.
Sure can.
And I said, you know what they cost aldermen? I said, they're running anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 each. I said, oh, I just gave it away. They said, they got the money. I said, what you mean they? You are they. You the city council. He said, they got the money. I said, wow, okay. So that money there, like you said, Howard and Dr. Ford, the money is out there.
Look what they're doing in Michigan, their water crisis.
They still doing that? They still dealing with that? The bad drinking water?
They had to
all
new water lines and everything in the city. Federal government millions of dollars.
Flint, Michigan.
Flint and maybe some other community up there. But I know they settled and they're retrofitting all new water lines and, you know,
right.
So,
well, we know the money there because look what happened during COVID. Mysteriously, there was money given to everybody.
So Chicago still got to spend a lot of millions of dollars of COVID relief money before 26 or 25.
We got another year to spend it all, huh?
Yeah.
Man, no, the money there. Look, when we did our research, just on if we can get 3 cents, let me tell you something. If we get 3 cents and it come out to be 300 or 6 cents, it come out to be $360 billion within a half a year. And you talking about sales tax used to be what? $4, something $10. Man, they lying to us. I did somewhat of research, man. They making, I forgot the category after trillions. It's 2 categories after trillions. Trillion, gazillion, and something else. That's how much they making. Every state, bro. Every state making that money. But they gotta always cry broke because they gotta keep us working. If they were to pay us, man, I can't even go on, but we got the money, man.
Yeah. There's money there. It ain't in Fort Knox like it used to be, but it's there.
Well, the monetary system is just paper now. And when you think about it, how can you owe yourself? How can the United States owe itself? They just print more paper. The money is supposed to be backed up in the metals and all this.
Rare metals. Well, gold.
Gold, you know, so.
What's better than gold?
Well, it was oil.
Oil.
Salt, one time.
Cobalt.
You know.
Cobalt.
So, you know, these countries determine what the value is monetarily. Well, in slavery, it was human bodies, you know.
Right.
Lives, yeah.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, they just print more money. That's why I say something about the deficit. I mean, how you run the deficit when you only print paper? Years ago, they say it was a note, which was backed up by
Silver certificates.
Right. So,
But silver.
it's just paper now.
Right. Well, when they go to other planets, they're gonna find some other material. Then they're gonna gauge it off of that.
The brothers and sisters up there too.
the Martian Mac dollar or something. I don't know.
And Uncle Remus.
They're gonna have Uncle Remus on Mars.
Oh, boy.
Let me get a Martian special.
Yeah, that would be.
No, man, I mean, how did this country get to be so wealthy? I mean,
You give somebody 300 or 400 years of free labor. Come on, see? In comparison to monetary system globally or, between countries.
mm-hmm.
Come on, now. I mean, I got everything done at no cost of
Right.
human life.
Right.
But that's it, and they didn't care.
And guess what? I heard this. When Emancipation Proclamation took place and slaves were free, guess what white people did? They started stealing black babies and saying these babies are now apprentices. And under the apprenticeship rule, they have to pay themselves out of the apprenticeship because we're training them to be servants, to be cooks, to be crop, pickers. We training them because they're only 4 or 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years old. They don't know how to do it, so we training them. So when they become 21 or 25 years old, they can leave because they would have paid for their apprenticeship instead of calling it slavery. They call it apprenticeship under apprenticeship rules. I'm like, wow, man. They figure out a way to twist it just to get it, don't they? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They took people's kids, kidnapped their kids, and then said they're apprentices. They're not slaves. They're under the apprenticeship program for 20-some years till they pay their debt through the apprenticeship program. That we're training them to do these things that they got to do for us for free to get out of the apprenticeship. You just put me in the apprenticeship program. Who said I wanted to be an electrician? Who said I want to be a plumber? Who said I want to be a carpenter? Well, you gotta eat, right? Yeah, but these are the best trades. And let me put you in this program. You'll be out of it. You'll be able to feed yourself after 20-some years.
When I look at the way we were laid out in the boat, being brought over from whatever country, and I mean, I'm just being real. I don't know what psychologically or mentally if I could have dealt with that.
And it wasn't a what they said like Guadalcanal, a 3-hour cruise. No, it wasn't one of them. It's like a month or so on the water.
It wasn't a cruise.
No, it wasn't a cruise. It wasn't a love boat. No.
You didn't make it through your board shark or what? Okay, that's it.
Yeah. No, I mean there was a lot of cruelty. The Portuguese perfected it. They were the ones that perfected it, and the British proclaimed it.
I guess I read it and watch it on TV and documentaries.
Well,
I can't say enough.
I can say this. One thing I do know for certain, there is a burden, a trauma, a devastating trauma that's been put amongst our people, Black Americans in America. Actually, we should just be called Americans because we ain't come from nowhere else. And,
yeah, we were born here.
We ain't got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, our ancestors were the African Americans. We the Americans. We were born here.
Right. And I'm just saying the trauma has been, I think, through genes.
And second, world history, people here before.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if they call it, the white people call it America, we gonna claim it as America. although they threw us on like baggage, but we gonna call it ourselves American. We can't call ourselves baggage. We gonna call ourselves what they call. We can't call ourselves Cherokee. We can't call ourselves Navajo because those people were here before that. And let's point out. Let me finish this point about trauma, because I think trauma has trickled down through these decades, through the centuries, that we are the descendants of all this trauma that was put upon us. Who was that said that stupidness, man? Kanye. He just left. He's like, huh? He just
Yeah, he said slavery is a choice.
slavery was a choice, he said. Just like them white women he had married. What's one? The Kardashians. I guess that was a choice too. Now look how stupid he look.
It definitely was a choice.
Yeah, well, that's a stupid choice. Yeah. And all they did was enslave. Every time you look around, they got another black man. They enslaved another, got another one. And their mama was the main ringleader for girls like
Like
that.
Well, I hate to interrupt, but, you know, we got an event coming up, and now would be a good time for we get out of here and talk about what we're going to talk about. Thing with Dr. in the house, Dr. Rudy.
Now I brought it up a little earlier, actually.
Yeah, but we could hashtag back on that. But let me finish with the slavery part. So the trauma, again, I think it's amongst all of us because we are still fighting. How many hundreds of years of slavery?
150.
No, that's not. Emancipation was 160. I'm talking about we've been enslaved in this country, on this continent. What is it, 1640? What's the thing?
Total is 400 years.
400 years. Now,
1619, we got it. 1619.
She was there last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, how do we rid ourselves of this? Look at this stuff, man. Look at what we go through every day. I mean, I don't know. But I did hear, and I read this, that in 1728, there were black people in Florida that had their own town. Now, I'm saying slavery wasn't even around in 1728, was it?
1619.
1619, okay. So how was it we had our own black town run by black people? They had their own black newspaper. They were reading and writing, and then they came and burned them out, took them out. I guess they weren't gonna have a lot of that because you had to get rid of everybody that knew how to read and write that was reading those newspapers, right? Subscribing to them.
So let me say this. So the United States became a country, I think in 1771 and 1776. I think it's 1776, right? And certain areas in the United States was not the United States. So, you know, a lot of the French owned a lot of the southern part, and so a lot of the other countries had outlawed slavery 30 or 40 years before America became its country. Because, you know, if you ever watched Armistead, that's why those Britain people had captured that ship, and they was trying to take those Spanish people, and they was gonna try to hang them, huh?
They were trying to get their cargo.
No, not England. England was about to take those. They was gonna take those people on that boat because slavery had been outlawed in England almost 30 or 40 years before the United States became a country. And anybody that got caught transporting slaves across the Atlantic, England was persecuting them. But what happened was they brought them to America, and that's why they had that trial. And so England, they was out of their jurisdiction because they said that. So anyway, so they released those people. Armistead, they released those people. But the thing about it, so when you had the French in Florida and all that stuff, they weren't slaves until America got a hold of that whole area, Louisiana and all that. But because a lot of countries had already outlawed slavery by that time.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I'm gonna say two things about what you said. I stayed in a motel in Farmington, Connecticut, right around the corner from the courthouse where La Armistead trial took place. And believe it or not, Farmington is a very conservative, close-knit, lily white, big money town. Man, when I first went to Farmington, Connecticut in 1993 for business, I came into the motel about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the guy that was the attendant, I heard him behind the wall snoring. And believe me, bro, I was afraid to wake that man up because he probably had never seen a black guy coming into that town that late at night. And I tried everything in my power to kind of give him a hint that I was coming in, or that I didn't know if he had a gun back there or anything, you know. But I heard him snoring, and I just kind of was like, making noises. He didn't want to startle me. He finally came around and checked in. But that town is Farmington, Connecticut, and the courthouse was right behind that motel I stayed. And just to show you how rich this town is, 50 Cent bought Mike Tyson's house in Farmington. Mike Tyson had a mansion in Farmington. When I first went there, I looked for the McDonald's. Guess what? They didn't put the McDonald's arches up. Their McDonald's was sitting way back, like off into a strip mall like area, and it looked like a barn. It looked like a barn house. they don't let you put signs up and all that. And another thing about the town, they had a polo course. I mean, how many places have a polo course? Although we do have polo in Oak Brook, but you do know what Oak Brook is too. So, hey, what can I tell you? The other thing, Howard, you are absolutely right. Me being from LA, Lord, Alabama, Mobile, to be exact, I should have definitely told you that because me growing up, all I was ever told was that the Spanish and French were in control of Mobile, and there was a lot of remnants of it. You could see it because downtown Mobile, it looks very much like New Orleans. You got the balconies and all that stuff with all that metal around it, and the square and all that. And I was told when my mom told me when we were living down there, my oldest brother was a baby. There was a flood, there was a storm, and the water came in so high that when she went into the bedroom and woke up, her hand hit the water, and the water was so high up on the mattress that they had to get out of the apartment. And she said the other thing that they found, they were doing a lot of excavating for new properties, they found a lot of hidden treasures, Spanish doubloons, and they found treasure chests because they started to excavate due to the moisture and the water digging up the foundation. And that's nothing. You ain't gonna never find no in-ground pool in Mobile. You ain't gonna find they don't have basements. You ain't gonna find a house in Mobile with a basement because it's below sea level. And that was the other thing, yeah. But you're right. You're absolutely right. The French Louisiana purchase, it wasn't just Louisiana. It was certain areas like it was like the 3 states, I think. It was Louisiana, maybe Mississippi, and Alabama were all in that purchase.
I went on that slave tour, and I visited Florida and New Orleans.
Yeah, no. People just think when the British came over on the Mayflower, or the people came over on the Mayflower, were they all British? Were there some Germans in there too? No, I think they were British. Yeah, it was all British.
Yeah, and let me say this real quick. You know, it was free black people here. Everybody didn't come on a slave ship.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they started off with indentured servants. They claimed that was everybody. And, you know, if you owe money, you know, you can go over there and work your money off for about 15, 20 years, and then we let you go. Then they started thinking, well, we got to indenture them. Let's just take some people that look like they ain't gonna be doing nothing, and we can't get them. We make sure that they can't get back to where they're coming from, and we'll make them stay here and do it for free. You know.
But you got to recognize, like, the people from Mali, they was here a long time. Like Mansa Musa brother. See, there's a current that goes from Africa straight to South America, and it goes. You got to catch it one way going, and then you got to catch it another way going back. I don't know the season. I can't remember no more. But Mansa Musa, with his brother, they was very rich. And Mansa Musa brother came over to South America. And that's why you got the Olmec and all that stuff. They came over to South America long before the Asiatic people, which are now Mexicans. They came over before the Bering Strait, the strait that connect Alaska to Russia. They was way over, and they was over here. And that's why they found out that you have a lot of animals and a lot of plants that originated in Africa. And they were trying to figure out how did those plants and animals get all the way from Africa to South America. And so when they did the research, his brother, I can't think of his brother's name, he had been over here already. Because before him, other people that came over, because they was taking that highway. It was a highway on the ocean It'll take you from one way to the other way. But for some reason, his brother never came back after the second trip, and Mansa Musa had all the money because he wasn't a king at first. His brother was the king of Mali. So man, it was so much. Man, it's this book I used to read, man. It got so much knowledge, and it's all true, bro. It's all true. So yeah, it was black folks already here.
Look at this. For 700, 800 years, the Moors ruled Spain and Portugal.
They call that the Dark Ages. That's the Dark Ages.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's why it's dark. They call it the Dark Ages because they weren't in control. That's the Dark Ages. So from like 300 to the almost to the
Somebody said the reason that the Spaniards do bullfighting is because it represents the bull is supposed to be the black person because the bullfights were always dark bulls, black bulls, and the Spaniards were conquering of the black and forcing them back out of Spain. And then they say the running of the bulls is also the same thing that represents the Spaniards conquering the Moors and sending them back to Africa.
Well, that's King Kong. You know what King Kong is, right? Y'all know about King Kong?
We know who he is or what he. Yeah.
Well, King Kong is the gorilla, right? And this gorilla was so infatuated with white women, he climbed the Empire State Building to show what he had, and they shot him down. So King Kong's a black man that is so infatuated with white women, and they'll beat you down when they have to. So that's what King Kong and the Planet of the Apes came from. They just let you know, I don't care how strong you are, you mess with one of these white women, we're gonna kill your ass. That's
yeah. I think the original King Kong came out in the 30s and 20s. The original. So,
that's after that was after the what they say the greatest. What's I can't think of that movie. The greatest when they showed they used to show gorillas. They showed
they call it something of a nation.
Yeah, exactly. Something. Yep, that's it.
That movie, the Klan movie, something nation, something of a nation.
The birth of a nation.
The birth of a nation. Birth of the nation.
Yeah, that God. But yeah, we sleeping on a lot of history, man. A lot of history. But I know what I wanted to say when I talk about the trauma that's been put upon us, because I'm first generation to Chicago. But how many of us that's descended from people from the South, which we know those most likely were descendants of slaves, how many of us actually did any of our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents ever talk to us about their parents and their parents being slaves that we knew of? And the people that I know that were born like in 1901 and like that, they never talked about their parents. They never talked about that stuff. And I think it was because it was so tragic that they just, it's like, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to put this on me. That's what I think. I never heard none of those stories.
Well, my father talked about it all the time, but I think, like you say, that was like a taboo. Like, that's where the no snitching came from, because, you know, you didn't want to.
No,
you didn't want. Yeah, that's where no snitching came. Huh?
No, go ahead. What did your father say?
Yeah, well, he would talk about he would talk about my grandfather, great whatever, Alf. He would talk about Alf, but Alf was a young, I think he was probably like 13 while he was a slave, and but he was able to stay with the family, and then they moved. They was in Arkansas, but what it was is that you didn't want to talk about it. Just like now, it's the same thing right now. When we get around them, we don't want to talk about it because we don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, and we make them feel uncomfortable. Then then there may be some animosity. So that's why we kind of like, and that's why it's the same thing now. Whenever you're in a huddle with a bunch of black folks, they always think we plotting already. They be like, man, what y'all doing? Y'all on some revolution stuff. So that's why that's back then. That's why they tried to make black folks always tried to make people feel comfortable. So that's why they and it was to protect you, because like even with my parents, when I was young, I was outspoken. and they be like, you don't go around talking all this stuff just because you know you keep it to yourself. Because when I read Malcolm X, I'm going to every debate talking all kind of, you don't do that, boy, you crazy. We taught you this stuff, but you supposed to know it so you can do that. So they always protect you. It's called protection. They want you to be protected because they know this world we don't own.
I was just looking at something in this thing. This I was talking about how, because there's a lot of women out there that will be like their parents didn't give them affection, and so they likewise don't give affection. And they were saying like that's a large part of the reason why the Black culture is the way it is in some respects too, is because what happened is as you grow up and you're taught from those people that came before you, you normalize that as that's the way of life that is the way it's supposed to be. Instead of pushing back on it, saying, nah, that's not the way things are supposed to be. And there's some unresolved things here, but out of respect, you're gonna just keep it tight, and you more than likely will depend on which path you want to take. Because some folks, you know, it's what they call breaking the cycle or breaking the chain, and then they will do differently for their family so that moving forward can be different. And some just continue to keep it on because they don't know any better. But like what Howard is saying is absolutely true. That's what he was raised off of, and that's why those things aren't shared. And a large reason why today a lot of things aren't shared is because that's the life lessons that was passed on from those folks from slavery. If they talk too much, they were likely to end up dead. You know, so that's a fear thing. That's a fear tactic that they use. Fear for survival, right? I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't liken it to survival because they're not living that life anymore. We don't live in that circumstance anymore, not in the same way. So it's just fear at this point. But I'm saying,
what we do kind of live in the same way because I mean, especially when we're on our jobs, there's certain things, you know, we don't want to say on our jobs because our bosses, they got the power. You know, when I was growing up, when they used to always tell me, my father used to always tell me, you never drive your good car to work because they'll cut down on the overtime. Drive the ragged car to work. I used to be like, what? So that's that power. That's that power they have over you. Like, look at this Negro. He over here. He making too much money. So they say that. And then to this day, I don't drive my good car to work. I was like, at first I thought it was.
Howard, you ride a bicycle, huh? Hey, shit.
Huh? What'd you say? I ride a bicycle, right? Yeah.
See, that's why it's important too, man. We gotta own our own stuff, though. You don't gotta worry about that. You're on your own.
You know what?
I'm
glad you said that, man. I remember I was a young engineer interviewing, and this was probably around about 87. I went and interviewed at a company called Ready Metal. I think it was Ready Metal. It was right off River Road by Urban Park. I interviewed. The interview went to the nighttime. I think it was in the winter here because it was dark. I remember leaving that interview with the white guy that interviewed me. And he had a corner office. I had a brand new 1986 Mercury Sable. I had just bought it because I was working at another company. You know, this guy came to the window and started. Now, on the other side of River Road is the river and the forest. You do know that, right? Ain't nothing to be looking outside that window. He came to the window and I saw him because it was so, the lights on the inside. He had his hands up against the window trying to see what I was driving, man. Just to see what I was driving, because I'm like, you just interviewed me. What you looking for? You ain't waiting on a ride. Wasn't no Uber back then in '87. It wasn't like a bus was coming. He was looking to see what I was driving, and I'm like, why would that be an issue?
Well, the adage is always true. People want you to do good, but not better than them. White people don't want you to do good at all.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all, we right up at 8 o'clock. So let's go ahead and get around the room. I want to go pop into Miss Bertha's event that she got going on down and go support that. So let's go ahead and get it around the room.
What you got to stay tight? You got some force.
Yeah, well, I just want to say again, that we're having our Positive Peace Workshop June 25th and 26th at Hope Church, 5900 West Iowa. It's free, and we still got a few seats left. And I would like to congratulate DeAndre for his bodybuilding. I see him every morning out there lifting big weights. And it's good to be around like-minded people.
You out there tiny with him?
Huh?
Nah, because I go live every morning.
Oh, okay.
I do CrossFit, so I'm always go live, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I do be putting up a lot of weight.
What you say there, Angelica?
Angelica.
Is that Arnold? Who's that?
Arnold.
Was that Steve?
It's Steve, yeah.
Hey, Steve.
What you say? I know I sound like Arnold there when I paused.
I couldn't hear it and I didn't have the phone up. It's my turn.
Oh, Angelica. Hey, Angelica got a lot of hits on that thing the other day. I said, oh, boy, what's going on here?
Knock it out. Knock it off. So,
Hey,
listen, I want y'all to come July 25th. We'll be at Steve's Place, Northwest Austin Council, for our sickle cell blood drive. Y'all know my son got sickle cell disease and he uses a lot of blood. So this is my way to try to give back. So I want y'all to register. Myself, Congressman Steve, of course, and Camille Lilly and DeAndre, because he always on everything. We'll be doing that on July 25th. So y'all register.
What blood type?
Any blood, because the kids with sickle cell or people with sickle cell have different blood types. So it don't matter, especially if you have a rare blood type.
You see, I sent this thing with Congressman Davis and some of the other Congress people were moving to make June 19th.
I saw that. I'm a part of the Sickle Cell Association. I'm gonna share that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do. And if y'all, Sickle Cell Association is going golfing next Thursday in Tinley Park. So I'll share that with y'all.
All right, and that's the 25th. But we'll have a flyer. Hopefully, we don't want to.
I'm gonna send one. I'm gonna send it to you what the Red Cross put together, Steve. But DeAndre said it looked like something off of TV One, so we gonna do our own too.
Right.
For blood drive.
Yeah, before we get it out there. But we got a month.
And I want to congratulate DeAndre too on he wearing his Hoochie Daddy shorts. Yeah. He had them on yesterday.
There you go.
I can see I see the reran tattoo on his thigh leg.
There you go. Oh my God.
He do, Howard.
Dragon Ball shirt today.
He got what?
Dragon Ball Z shirt, the Kung Fu
Master Roshi. Yeah.
To watch them when they were little.
Yeah, I'm going to see Master Roshi in the morning, man.
What's Master Roshi? What's Master Roshi?
Jim.
The Jim?
That's Master Roshi. Nah, Dragon Ball Z. Master Roshi is the one that taught Goku everything,
That's, you gotta be at least born in the 90s.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. And Beetleborgs. Remember Beetleborgs?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know Pokemon.
I remember. Yeah, because I had kids that was all into that. But who we got, Miss J? What you say, Miss Jacob? Well, yeah, Miss Jacob. I saw her yesterday. She hit me down. You and DeAndre.
Miss Jacob on the line? She don't call me no more. You on the line, Miss Jacob?
Yeah.
Miss Jacob, why you don't call the brother no more?
Yeah, same here. Jacob, where you been at?
I talked to her yesterday, but I don't know what she at now, Miss Jacob. Wait. I feel. Well, we're gonna come back to you, Miss Jacob. How you doing? Miss Houston? Ella Houston. Okay.
Hey, I'm doing good. This discussion was great. I learned some stuff I did not know, so I was just sitting there trying to suck it in. But it would be nice if we had some hard copies of the discussion so I can go back and look at them,
Yeah,
especially
go
about
on.
the slaves and the reparation.
Yeah, go on YouTube,
Well,
Facebook.
well, you know, then they got to search for it, and then they got to see if this is the right one. They trying to, you know.
We thought they already titled though.
Look, I don't have time to do all of that. That's why I put it there. I'm lazy. You know, I'm in retirement. I don't have time to do all that research. That's why I listen to you guys.
She's trying to get the nitty and the gritty so that she can just get it right there.
Right.
But you got to say that Howard Ray on your conclusion.
Yeah, we should have a Black History Forum. They invite some young kids or young people or some adults also, and we have an agenda. Have Black history, and then DeAndre he can research what was the psychological mindset during those different period of time. That'd be interesting.
Well, I think you own to something there, Howard, because I talked to Congressman Davis, who actually told me a while back. He said, Steve, I know a lot of people that have written books on the West Side and throughout the city, and he said you should do a book fair or a book signing, and I'm like, well, yeah, we can do that. I got space. Let's just get it, and just tell the people come out. But we can incorporate Black history, and we ain't got to do it on Black History Month. You know, that's the other part. We get relegated to, you know, we got a month. I remember we used to just have a week back when I was young, but now we got a month. Wow. Now that you don't really want us to have Juneteenth, because I'm getting a lot of backlash about that. But so what? Who cares about what people think about us having Juneteenth?
Yeah, we should do something like that, because like yesterday, I'm forever learning new things. I just learned about the man that I forgot what whiskey was created in Tennessee. I can't. Was it Henny? I can't remember. But whatever whiskey, whatever bourbon was created in Tennessee, it was a Black man.
Yeah,
right. It was a Black man. But there's a lady that just brought that land where the whiskey was created at, and now she's selling that whiskey. She got the receipt from the Black man family. But it's going to be a movie about it pretty soon. So we need to.
But what you left out, she's Black.
Huh?
The lady is Black.
Yeah, the lady Black, but she got the money. She went back and bought the whole land. So she clowning.
Yeah, the lady. You didn't say Black lady. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was
I just found out
amazing.
yesterday. Yeah.
There are a lot of things that we need to, like you said, we need to know. I mean, if I told some young Black people that, you know, DeAndre was talking about Rosewood got burned down, Tulsa got bombed, but if I told some Black people, do you know that the federal, I ain't gonna say federal, but the American the law enforcement system bombed Black people in America in 1985. I'll never forget it. It was March 1985 when the police in Philadelphia bombed the move.
Oh, you talking about? Yeah. That was 1985.
Remember Move? That was a Black man. It was a Black man too then?
No, I wasn't a Black man. It wasn't a Black man that did that, I don't think.
No, it was not Philadelphia then. Move was the organization they bombed. But, you know, if you told them that, they wouldn't believe it. That happened in less than 35 years ago, 40 years ago. Met the building, they blew the whole block up, bro. They dropped it on the building, but it ended up burning the whole 12 block.
Oh, they knocked the whole block down.
Yeah, and they ain't going to rescue nobody. They just let it burn. You know, that's what what was that Public Enemy when he said burn Hollywood, burn?
Well, it's so much history. Like even with the Black folks and freed everybody. Like even with the Mexicans, right? Vicente Guerrero was a Black man that freed Mexico from Spain. He was the second president. He's the first president, second president, and he the ones freed the Mexican from Spain. And even with Cinco de Mayo, the reason why they paint the face black is because it was Black slaves that ran away and made a town in Mexico, and they fought against the French people when the French people tried to take over that part of Mexico, and they won. And so that's why they think.
The Battle of Pueblo.
Yeah. And so you got Independence Day in Mexico was by Vicente Guerrero, and Cinco de Mayo was by the black folks. So all this black history, all of South America is the reason why South America exists is because of Haiti. So we everywhere, bro. We everywhere, but we just don't know the history.
And they have black people in Mexico now. They have black Mexicans.
Yeah, they're in Veracruz area, right around the Gulf. That's where the blacks in Mexico are.
And Acapulco.
Y'all didn't even know this. Y'all didn't look this up. They call it Caribbean people in Honduras. But they said the next largest among those people are the people in America.
But hey, the original Filipinos were black. They call them Bataks, and they're black people.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's so much we're not getting credit for, and so much that we are not aware of, that we need to be aware of, so we can give our own self credit.
Garifuna.
And they said the largest group of Garifunas are in Honduras and South America. And they say the next biggest group are the people in America, but we call ourselves black. I'm like, what? How we never knew this name before?
What you mean? You mean biggest, like population wise?
Read it real quick, DeAndre, so if you got it.
So it just says the Black Hondurans, also known as Afro-Hondurans, are the Hondurans of sub-Saharan African descent.
Yeah.
The Garifuna are the largest ethnic minority in Honduras, descended from African Carib populations from the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, who were exiled to the Honduran coast in the 18th century.
Yeah. And the next big group of Garifuna people are those in America, but they don't even call themselves that. They just said they just blacks of America. And we never knew this name. I never heard this name until today.
Well, you know, those women in Honduras, they are straight assassins. They are actually fighting to save the farm, and they've been killing a lot of the contractors down there. So it's a war. Man, it is a war going on in those forests, because those women, they got guns and everything. So a lot of those contractors that's trying to knock down them trees, because those trees, they livelihood, they actually shooting at them people, man. Them women, man, I watched a whole documentary. I wish I knew the name of it. But yeah, man, we everywhere. We fight for the land.
Yeah, well, you know, Nicaragua, Honduras, they had civil wars and things going on back in the 90s and the 80s. And, you know, that's been what it was, but hopefully it's calmed down. But anyway, y'all, we got one more person, iPhone that want to chime in before we lock out. iPhone. Nobody. Ms. Jacobs, she gone. I know. Ms. Jacobs never answered. But nonetheless, yeah, I just want to say thank everybody for coming on. I appreciate y'all coming out, spending your Sundays talking here, talk with us as we do. But hey, like DeAndre said, let's grow this up. Let's get it bigger. We do need to get younger people involved so they can learn this history, man, because you ain't gonna know it if we don't tell it. And we gotta let people know. It's important. Know where you're going forward to, you know, you gotta know where you came from. And we're gonna do something big with that. All right, that's it for me. What you got?
Hey, let me say one more thing. Y'all going to Miss Parnell thing tonight?
Yeah, I'm about to hear it. I got slide.
Dang, I wish I could go. Hey, you don't have none of the petition, do you? DeAndre, do you?
In my car, but I'm on the bike.
Oh, you on the bike? Okay. Yeah, I wish I could have. Well, that's cool. I have to get it next time.
Hey, Ray, you know you were gonna send me some petitions to my email, and I didn't.
I never. Who was it? Tiny?
Yeah.
So send me your email again. I'm sorry. And then DeAndre, did you tell him? Yeah, I talked to Derek, but he said he's good. He's ready to do it, but I'm gonna have to hook y'all up because I'm not gonna be able to do it, man. I'm running around with my head cut off.
Okay.
But you got his number?
I could get it. Ain't no problem.
I got it. I got it. I'll give it to you. And give him a call. But he said he all good with it. And then send me your email. And I thought I sent it to you, but I couldn't. You may be right because you are right because I've been moving.
Right. Okay, I'll send it to you.
Send it to me tonight, and I'm gonna put it out tonight. I'm gonna send it tonight.
Okay, sound good.
All right, thank you.
You got anything, Arnold?
Huh?
Arnold, you got anything?
No.
Okay. All right, y'all. Last thing I wanted to say is, again, this Saturday community event, you know what I mean? Bring your petitions. We definitely, I done already slotted every different thing. So roughly within that 7 to 8 o'clock hour, which is going to be the time we eat dinner or whatnot, that's where the how you call it, the announcements and everything can be made. So if you can't try to get there around that time, because after that, then we go into entertainment. Then we go at 9 o'clock. We're gonna talk about the purpose of the event, and we're gonna do some stuff for the community right around that point. So,
and tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a person from the block, tell them to come. Everybody.
Yeah, come on now. It should probably shit. I don't know. It's gonna be huge at this point because all family and all types of people coming. So, we got a bunch of elected officials confirmed. So, man, you know, it's one of them.
Show out.
Anywho.
Oh, really quick. Oh, for next week on the 25th, for those that live in Gilwood, we will be having a Gilwood Montclair Community Organization meeting at the Mosaic Church located at North Avenue and Oak Park Avenue. You can't miss it. It will start at 6:30. So Angelica, be there, be square. And you can tell Jacob and Saul too.
We gotta see. I plan to have
that's Tuesday, you said?
Yeah, that's the 25th.
That's how that's gonna check out. Right when we walk in, we're gonna have it's an iPad photo booth. Yeah, some new technology we trying to implement and see how it's gonna work out. So, but yeah, we're gonna try to get some resources out that night too. But as I was telling Arnold, we're gonna do an iPad photo booth and everything, so it might take some space. We'll figure it out though. Anywho, all right, y'all know how we do from 6 to 8. We bring in Northwest Austin Council. There's various ways you can interact with the show: the Facebook, the Zoom, the YouTube. If you're on that Zoom, you right in the show, you just come off mute, pick your speech, but keep it cool. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to offend nobody. We're just trying to learn a little something. If you're on the YouTube or the Facebook, if you type, you can see your comment. We can bring you right in the show. You can interact that way. Otherwise, yeah, let's continue to grow the show, share it out to somebody that needs to be here and learn something. It's always good when you can learn something. You know what I mean? Especially when you ain't doing nothing but folding clothes or washing dishes or something. Either way, you know, I always like to say in closing, we got open seats at the table. We're just trying to welcome y'all all home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council.
So, good night, y'all. Good night.
God bless everybody.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Trying to have them get over there and check on their vegetables.
Okay, I will, Arnold.
Good night. Pay me some vegetables.
All right, y'all.
Yes.